Look what it says in verse 33. However, you are just in all that has befallen us, for you have dealt faithfully, but we have done wickedly. We live in an excuse culture. For the last week, there have been TV show after TV show, talking head after talking head, talking about why the Super Bowl went the way it went. And there's always an excuse, right? Well, we didn't have this person, we didn't have that person, if we would have done this, if we just would have done that. All of these excuses. Nothing is our fault anymore, is it? Nothing is our fault. Well, if it's got to be something else. If we would just cancel that, if we would just do that, if we would blame that person or blame that thing, if we would just do that, it's always someone else's fault. But these people recognized very clearly that they were in hardship, not because God is a big meanie, but because they are big sinners. And too many times in churches, in Christians, and certainly in culture, if people believe in God at all, they will begin to heap the blame upon God. How could your gracious, loving, kind God, how could He let this happen? How could He do this? Oh my goodness, He must really not be loving. He must not really be patient. And all the time God is saying, I haven't consumed you yet. I haven't squashed you out yet. Who's the one who sinned? Think about that. If you're going to blame your situation on something, and it's between you and God, the question is, who in this equation has sinned? Not God. You can figure out who the other person is. Okay? It's not God. And that's what they say. You have dealt faithfully. We have done wickedly. You are just in all that has befallen us. This takes some humility, friends, that I'm not always quick to muster. They say, you, God, your punishment for us, where we are, the predicament that we find ourselves in, you are just in it because of the level of my sin. And so now we see God being patient and just at the same time. He has not ignored their sin. He has placed His justice upon them. And yet in the middle of that, and we talked about this last week, but it's just a beautiful picture. In the middle of God's justice, the one who is putting the wrath upon them, who do we call to for help? The very one who's put us in that position. And so they say that we have sinned. We have fallen short. You have dealt faithfully, and we have failed.